Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Bradley Irving. Now, the evidence is in my channel because I've just done it the way the agenda wants it, right? And you notice how I get 14 views, then 0 on everything else? Because I'm censored, because I'm a white man. That's discrimination and racial hate because I'm white. How sad is that? YouTubers think because I'm white, I shouldn't be out there. But if a dark-skinned person said what I said, it would be straight out there, even though they got it from me. Because I'm smarter than them. Not them, but anyway. So, that proves the narcissistic personality and agenda. That's the problem with the world, will be the problem with the world. Not white men, not women, not black men. No, that's not the problem. The personality type is the problem. Alright? See, everything I went through was because the narcissistic personality didn't want to do their job. They put it in the too hard basket, and if you speak too much, they attack you. Like Maryborough Police attack me constantly. Have been since I was 13 years old. Because they're gutless cowards and drug addict pedophiles. That's Maryborough Police. They protect criminals, right? So the situation I was just in because of the stupidity of females, which is true, they're all dumb, they're indoctrinated. They're brainwashed because of the food. That's what happened to Shona. She can't be held accountable for her actions. She was brainwashed. Her mum should have been charged by police for child abuse, child slavery, child neglect. She used to blow smokes out into cigarette smoke into kids' faces. They used to sit there with no food, but I was the liar. No police would open her cupboard door because she said, I got food in there. He's lying. And I tried to get them in there to look. Wouldn't do it because I was the white man. So I had mental health because I said no to Sandra. That's all it was. She had access to my account. How? She asked her daughter for it. Her daughter just gave it to her. I called the police. Police said, that's fine. They're allowed to do that. This is Maryborough Police. They're the criminals. Okay, so at the end of the day, I did everything I legally could. I've even walked into court to try and defend myself, but because I wasn't able to read and write, because of my medical issues, which wasn't even my medical issues, it's because someone didn't do their job, once again, narcissistic personality and agenda. See, what actually was wrong with me is Queensland Health fucked up. This is with my leg. And one leg was stunted. Instead of giving me the reimbursement and giving me my shoe, I went from 5 years old to 28 without the proper shoe. See the extra footing there? That's because one leg's shorter than the other. Now, the way hips are meant to work is this. Okay, so how mine was this. So, of course, that's going to cause hip pain, it's going to cause back pain. That's just common sense. People that have been indoctrinated and done a whole heap of paperwork, they don't have common sense. Well, you can't have common sense if you're sitting behind a desk for fucking 30 years of your life. Anyway, so like I said, Shona was the victim. Her mother was the problem. And the biggest problem was police were rewarding her for abusing children. Maryborough Police, yep. Maryborough Police. The constable, the boss of Maryborough Police, he's the big problem. See, he's a narcissist. See, 2023 was a lot of problems. A woman got shot dead by mentally ill men because police wouldn't do their job. They refused to do their job. Now those children have to grow up without a mother because that mentally ill, narcissistic man wasn't getting control. So he dressed up in lingerie and shot her dead. The next one. Suicide. A hit. He shot himself in the head then the chest. That's Maryborough Police's intelligence for you. So they don't know what they're doing. How sad is that? But yet, if I talked about cutting my dick off and turning myself into a woman, which is mental health, body dysmorphia, body mutilation, that's all mental health, psychology 101. And where's it descend from? Narcissistic agenda and the personality trait. What do? Enable. What's happening in the system? Enabling. So what we do is court order a narcissistic or mandate a narcissistic personality test. For one, Albanese's not our government. He has committed federal crimes. He should be in jail, and every Liberal, Labor, Greens party should be arrested for their crimes. Otherwise, police can't do anything because they're fraud. They're not doing their job. They won't do it to the government. So, like, shit. The court order for Robodebt was never fulfilled. That's why it went back to court. That's a federal crime. They're meant to go to jail. I go to jail if I don't follow the court order. Double standards. Narcissistic personality. Just got to mandate a test. And everything's fixed. But instead of doing what I ask, because it's coming from a white man, you're the victims. You're the fucking problem. Grow the fuck up. Realise what's happening. Greens don't get a say. None of them are actually Australian citizens. Albanese's not even an Australian citizen. He came over on a boat. He never did the paperwork. He's just lived here for that long. Oh, you should look up your facts. It's not hard for someone with $1 billion to go, can you make me a citizen? Sweet. Here's your paperwork, mate. Cheers, buddy. Use your common sense, you dummies. Like, at the end of the day, I'm here for the people. Not the idiots. Oh, but anyway. So, what happened to me was the placenta wasn't cleaned out of my head. That's why I had chronic headaches all my life. It stopped me from being able to talk. It stopped me all my sensory issues. Well, this is your cortex in here, right? And if you get a little bit of pressure on there, it's going to stop things from going through. So my communication was injured, my body was injured, my growth was injured, everything was damaged. Now, what I did was just simply ear candled. Bowen therapy, that's my chair. So, that is all earwax. All those containers, that all earwax. Oh. See this? All earwax. Now, the thing is, with the system, I was trying to get help my whole life, and I kept getting told I was a drug addict since I became older. As soon as I became 18, I was a drug addict. Okay? With some cases, as soon as I became older than fucking 10, I had them telling me I was on a substance. And the thing is, you got to see where people come from. Alright? See, I came from a good family. The worst thing was Vicky, but my dad still had pretty much run of the route. It was only when he wasn't there was problems. So I was homeless until he was there. So I understand homeless people. Not fully, because I could go home when my father was there, because I was protected. I wasn't raped by my dad like a lot of others. But that was the norm for my generation growing up. Because children can't report crimes. People like me can't report crimes. Well, we got to jump through the loops, where a narcissist just has to say, Bradley did this, and the cops are on our doorstep. But, yeah, at the end of the day, that's what my issues were. Stopped me from communication, stopped me from having a happy life, stopped me from fulfilling work. I couldn't work properly. I'd get to a certain extent, my body would shut down. And then when I got to a certain age, it went from not being able to wake up to not being able to get up. I could not get out of bed. Everything below my ribs wouldn't respond. There was a few times that Shona had called the ambulance because I was dead. I was cold. They wouldn't do anything because I had fibro. Nothing they can do. But if you go to the midwife, when you have your child, she'll take your child away and drain the placenta and earwax so he doesn't have headaches. That'll take his legs away. Because they tell you that when you have a child. And so they know. Once again, separation in the governmental system created this, because I've got to go here, there for a medical professional when I'm just after a medical professional. Medical professionals should know all medical professions. If they don't, they're not a medical professional. And like I keep saying, I'm Australia's medical professional because I cured fibromyalgia. It's not curable. Cured ADHD. Not curable. Cured autism. Not curable. I don't think anything that the government is doing is actually for the people. Well, the evidence is there. The war on drugs. Drugs won. We don't have medicine. We have drugs. Okay, everything that is supplied by the pharmaceutical or the governmental system and approved damages the liver, damages the kidneys. Then they give you more medication. They just cover the symptoms till you die. Why? They get the money. All comes down to a personal belief system in a workplace where it doesn't belong. And who does that? Narcissistic personality. Because their mentality is of a spoilt 7-year-old. Me. I look good. That's all I need to do. I'm here. I look good. I don't actually need to do anything. And that's where that saying, as long as you look busy, it's all right. Looks. And that's all they're worried about. Looks. You got to look good. You don't have to be good. You just got to look good. And half of them don't look good. But anyway. So there's the proof on the channel. YouTube's done it for me. Like, narcissists will give you the evidence. You just got to be truthful and honest, and they get upset. Now, that's a personality type. Okay, now there is demons in play, and there is poisoning. I suffered a lot from poisoning because Shona was raised badly. So she didn't know what a nutritional diet was. I was mentally ill from her belief system because I said no to her mum. I said no to jumping every 5 seconds to doing things. I cleaned up after myself. I told her she was rubbish for not cleaning up after herself. She was that bad, she wouldn't clean up her pads. She'd just leave them in her undies. How filthy is that? But no, that was praised by the police. That was praised by mental health in Maryborough because she's a female. She's going through a hard time. You need to let her be. No. She needs to be out of my house. She was kicked out of my father's house by my father and myself, but she didn't leave. And every time we got loud, it was, I'm the victim. And police would defend her and tell me that I had to leave my house, my childhood home that my father owned, that she wasn't supposed to be at. Double standards. Weren't listening. Took her side. Conflict of interest. Treason. Fraud. Corruption. Contempt. Scam. Fraud. Impersonation of a police officer, attempted murder on Bradley Irving. That's what should have been charged, and they're going to be charged with that because I'm going to get into court. But first, I've got to get this up there for you guys because there's a lot of people out there that can't see. Like a certain person could walk up and, I didn't slap you. Oh, okay, you didn't do that. I didn't slap you again. Oh, okay. And that's how they react. When they should be going, what? Hit me, I hit you back. No. I don't support mental health or double standards, see? That's why I'm censored, because I'm a white man. That's on the line. I'm not over here trying to cut kids' dicks off and turn little kids' vaginas into penises, because that's mental health. That's abuse. That is sexual abuse to children. I'm in the middle going, no, that's not right. Maybe you should blame the parents for giving them drugs. Oh, they're not giving them drugs. Read the can of Coke, mate. It's got chemicals in it. Do you know the definition of drugs? The definition of drugs means they have to be made in a lab. It can't grow in the ground. So everything they're calling a drug is false labelization. So Tramadol is not a drug, it's a herb. Mushrooms are herb. Opiums are a herb base, but they can go into a chemicalization and you can make them into a chemicalized. Same with cocaine. The original way to have cocaine was actually to smoke it like a tobacco or use the leaf. Then they made drugs. But cocaine's been used for medicinal purposes for millions of years. Same with mushrooms. Same with kettle trees. There's so many things that can fix things, but they won't use it because you can grow it yourself. You can go for a walk in the bush and you can pick it yourself. Okay? It all comes down to the narcissistic personality and the money. Me. Don't care about you. Oh. Yeah, that's my nerves cracking because I just did 2 candles. So, I cured Frybo. I cured all the diseases they say are uncurable. So, at the end of the day, you don't need the government. They're useless. Like, Greens shouldn't exist. They tried to burn down Australia in 2017. No one got arrested for the grand arson and the attempted murder of all Australian animals and people. No, it was let go because it's a narcissistic personality. See, you got to let it go because they're upset. But the thing is, they don't have feelings. They don't have remorse. They don't have guilt. That's how you tell the difference between a narcissistic personality and the agenda. The agenda is brainwashed. They will push everything a narcissist says, even if they lose out. All right. Now, with this Centrelink rubbish, all right. So Robodebt was the first court order in 2022 was 2021 was never paid out. They never kept to the court order. You know, that's pretty bad, isn't it? Was there any charges done? No, there wasn't. That's the criminal activity again. Ooh. Because it was very strange how Maryborough, specifically Maryborough Police, Maryborough Centrelink, how do you know they had things? Because I have eyes in my head and I can see when I drive past that main street that they've gone from driving Falcons and Commodores to all having Rangers, Land Cruisers, Mustangs. Oh, so that's where that $1.6 trillion went from the Robodebt scheme into their pockets, because that's what the government does. That's why the Australian roads aren't fixed. That's why the Maryborough Queensland roads aren't fixed. But we put $30,000 Mary Poppins lights in because they're too worried about what everyone thinks. Looks over facts and logic. That's the problem with a narcissistic personality. If you don't put me forward and let this out, I have to end the world. Like, you just think I'm mentally ill because of your belief system. There's no such thing as mental health if you follow their agenda. Okay? So what they tried to say is my mental health is I cleaned up after myself. I had boundaries. I respect myself. I told her, no, get the fuck out. That was assault. No, it wasn't. She got loans in my names after I said no. That's fraud. Identity theft. She should have been charged and put in jail. She used to go into my bank account without my permission. I never gave her the details. She just got them out of my phone. Proved that I gave them to her. That's the fact. You want to play your dumb game. This is where narcissists go wrong. They go, you need to do this, you need to do this. And then when you go, no, I don't. It's actually you that needs to prove that I didn't do that in court. I can prove I did it in court. Can you prove I didn't? Because your belief system doesn't stand up in court. Now, for the judge that just put forward the bullshit with Trance, that doesn't exist. He's mentally ill. He needs to be investigated. He's corrupt. His personal opinion went before facts and logic. He's mentally ill. He doesn't work for Australia anymore. He needs to go to jail. He committed fraud, corruption, treason, enabling. That's mental health. But anyway, so that's that topic. That's pretty much all ran down. So Shona wasn't actually the problem. The big problem was someone up here refused to do their job. So little Brad down here didn't get anything that he needed, where Tommy over here got his head drained. But the difference between Brad and Tommy is Tommy had black hair, blue eyes, tan skin. Brad, he has blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin. He was pushed away. Racial discrimination, attempted murder because of racial discrimination. Well, it can kill people not doing that. It's been a known thing since before the 80s. So, if I can get this information from medical professionals, then why don't they all have the information? Because of the narcissistic separation. See, the health system needs to go back together. We should walk into one hospital and go, sorry, we shouldn't cough. We'll probably do, it's a hospital. Anyway, we should walk in there and go, I'm sick, this is what I need. And they go, all right, well, this is the system that's playing up with you, buddy, you go over here. Next one walks in, oh, I got kidney issues. Oh, well, you go over there, buddy. Not, hey, I feel it. No, you don't. You don't know how you feel. That's not what happens. That's narcissistic attack. Okay? And that's what they constantly do, because that's all they know how to do. They're mentally ill. Now, the difference between the millennials and boomers and Gen X is if someone didn't do their job, boomers and Gen X could grab the little shits and give them a bit of a slap around and go, you're a public servant, do your job. And they'll do their job. And if they called the police, well, do your job, and it wouldn't have happened. Wow. That's how we need to go back to. All right, see, also Maryborough Police supported Cassie Birmingham over me. She ran through my house. She was a junkie. Junkie female, well known around Maryborough for being a junkie slut. And, she ran through my house. Wasn't supposed to be there. Assaulted my dog, assaulted my child. Maryborough police officers took her to Macca's, bought her lunch, had a little conversation with her, and came back and tried to charge me for assault. Like, how retarded is that? 3 people, including myself, said what she did is what she did. They told us we have to fill out an official report and it's got to go to court. Yet he came back and tried to get me to attack him through baiting because she said I punched her. No mark on her. I had scratches. My dog had marks all over it. My kid had black eye. But no, she didn't do it because she's the court order. See, this is how it comes. Narcissistic personality. They believe someone over them and you're like, backs down and they force it. They force their agenda. That's mental health. Psychology 101. It's not rocket science. Now, through anatomy and biology, what we're taught in middle school, all of us are taught it. If I learn it, you should have. I was the retarded one. So don't say that I didn't try and pay attention because I learned stuff that 60-year-olds say don't exist. Dumbest generation in the world. Tell me about it. So every movie after the 50s you believed was real. No, don't say you didn't. You believed the moon landing was real. Like one of the fakest looking movies. Oh, but that's how you know it's real. No, that's how you know it's fake. Idiots. Ooh, flying saucer. Ooh. Caught UFO. That's real. No, that's real. It looked fake, so it's real. That was a UFO that just came in here. No. Yous don't know. Yous don't know. Yous aren't smart enough. Yous aren't the government. I'm a government official because I still have the bloody government tag. Okay, so really everyone should be listening to me because I worked for the government. Yeah. Anyway, so that was that. So if you want to cure your sickness, stop eating from Woolworths, stop eating Coles. Everything comes down to your DNA and your race. Okay? Everyone is slightly different. We're all similar, we're not the same. Alright? Now that's the end of that shit. So that's all done. Okay, I did that to prove a point because I was censored because I was talking the truth about the abuse I went through. And you got to silence that because it's a man talking sexual discrimination, corruption, treason, fraudulent. That's what they commit every time they do that. And Thank you, YouTube, for giving me the power to sue yous and take your company. Well, you better put me out then, hey, because if it does go to court, you're going to lose everything. Because I've had 3 channels on you guys, and you keep censoring me because I'm white. And male, you racist pigs. Sexist, racist, narcissistic pigs. Well, put me forward like you do the pedophiles. Well, you support mentally ill people pushing forward, cutting kids' penises off and mutilating their privates. But you won't promote a man talking about a medical issue that nearly killed him and impacted his life so severely, he couldn't hold a job, he couldn't get help. Well, he was fatigued, so every narcissist in Maryborough said, Brad's on drugs. Couldn't get a drug test. No, there was nothing in my blood, but I lied. I somehow convinced a blood machine and a blood test to lie. It's not that I didn't have anything in my system. I somehow made that system lie. And that's the shit I've been dealing with through the governmental system. Okay? Now, the one that wrote down that I had schizophrenic tendencies and all that didn't actually pay attention the whole time we were talking. See, I told him, I'm usually the happiest chappy, and I'll go through stages where I just go into pain, and then I'll have negative thoughts, and I won't be able to communicate, and then I want to hurt everyone because they're hurting me. Not that I would just want to hurt everyone for no fucking reason. I was suffering from chronic pain, asking for help for 15 years, and everyone's saying, it's you, Brad, it's you, Brad. The doctors won't do it, so it must be you. Instead of going, Brad, let's go to the courts because the doctor neglected you, which I was smarter than them. So I'm speaking, and they're going, no, Brad, doctors don't do that. No, Brad, police don't do that. No, Brad, no one else commits crimes, Brad. Only Brad commits crimes. And that's how they would go. And it was really frustrating. Because it was like, well, no. Because otherwise I'd be in jail. And it would be a world-known thing. Bradley Irving, biggest criminal in the world. But that never happened because what they were saying was a lie. It was false allegation from Sandra, Shay, all those drug-fucked idiots. See, they were the drug-fucked idiots. No food, nothing but drugs. Shay was a fucking junkie. But their words were taken over mine by police. Sexist. That's all it was. Maryborough police are sexist pigs. Now, at the end of the day, I just proved a point to Shona because I was supposed to be this abusive piece of shit. Her niece is dating one. I said, no, fuck him off straight away. Anyway, I found out they moved in. Now, with the situation going on, I say boo too loud, Maryborough police come looking for me. Oh no, they tracked me down. It's not a joke. I won't go in Maryborough unless I'm 100% filming myself. I won't go anywhere in Maryborough unless I'm filming and I've got cameras on me and I'm driving my new car. So when I'm in the blade, I don't get touched because all they do is bully. That's why they go for the older vehicles because things break. But to a narcissist, no. You have to have a brand new vehicle. That's the law. No, it's not the law. You just have to maintain your vehicle and they need to be understanding that, hey, he's driving a truck from the fucking 80s. It might just fucking fall apart. Something might drop off it. Doesn't mean he's intentionally doing it, but they felt something about it, so they attack. And that's the problem with the agenda. And it's going to keep going until you guys support me. And if you don't support me, I go do the deal and wipe the slate out. So what that means is, unfortunately, innocent people get wiped out because at the end of the day, when it comes to the creator and I, if you're allowing someone to suffer and you can help, we know, you're choosing not to. Sell your fucking house. If your kid's suffering, sell your fucking house. Or put them in it. See, where with my stepmother, I wasn't allowed home because I wouldn't bow down to her commands. I'd tell her no. See, her idea was, if I lived there, I had to give her half my pay, plus pay rent, plus pay electricity. Not part. See, with me dad, it was, $100 a fortnight, mate, and throw into electricity and food and whatnot. Yeah, you're right. But hers, no, you need to pay rent, you need to pay board, you need to do this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. 2 million things for me to have a roof over my head. Her daughter goes there, both of them, her son, go there, don't need to pay a cent. They can walk through any room they want, they can go through the fridge, they can go through the cupboard, they can make themselves a cup of tea, they can make themselves a coffee. Me, it's a problem. I just turn up and it's a fucking problem. Yet, I never did anything wrong. She didn't get what she wanted, her full control. So she wanted me to go to a child agency. And Dad wouldn't sign the paperwork because there was no need for it. And the police wouldn't support my father, they supported her. Well, she's upset about it, he needs to go. No, you need to do your job and arrest the criminal that's attempted murder and tried blaming a fucking 13-year-old boy. Which is mental health, narcissistic projection and reflection, and attempted murder on herself. So she should have been locked up. But she wasn't. She was allowed out. She had a job. And she became a assistant doctor. She bought a company and started doing doctoring. Because she's a narcissist. She can do what she wants. Karma's a cunt. It's come back to them and now they're fucked. And I've warned me father. But once again, it comes down to that agenda, personality type. And when it comes to men, we've got to go, okay, policeman, she's doing this, 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 and this. And if he goes, too bad, too sad, deal with it. That's criminal activity. He needs to be hung. And that's what I'm pushing for. Every corrupt, criminalised politician, police officer, lawyer is going to be hung over the border of Australia, in the ocean, so the rest of the world can see. And then we'll start doing it to the Muslims and the Indians. Well, to avoid war, what we need to do is mandate a narcissistic personality test and send everyone back home. Otherwise, it's going to be a war. So, look, no one wants a war. Wars are horrible, but it's coming to a point, the government's not listening to the people. What do you expect's going to happen? Like, you can't get in your car, blow the motor up, change your tyre and expect the motor to be fixed. But that's the mentality of the Australian government, the narcissistic personality and agenda. We can't do anything wrong, it's you. Get rid of you, the problem's gone. But it's not, because someone else is going to come in and go, hey, no, you're the problem. Oh, fuck, get rid of him too. That's why there's so many mentally ill men not getting help and suicides. It's actually attempted murder. It's murder. Governmental murder. That's what it is. Okay, so peace out. Do the right thing. Start pushing forward the right people. If you see crap on YouTube, not interested. Report. Any sexual indecency from women, report. It's time to do it back to them. The agenda doesn't like it when it's done back to them. So it's time to do it back to them. Now, at the end of the day, like I said, the people that did wrong to me wouldn't have done those things if the governmental system that's saying, hey, I'm here to do this, take, and then not do their job, did their job, there wouldn't have been a problem. No problem. I wouldn't be here today talking about these things because they never would have happened. Because the police officer would have done his job, Queensland Health would have done their job, the government would have done their job, but they don't. They pass the blame. They project, they reflect. Victim. They're the problem, okay? And One Nation actually runs Australia. He's corrupt. He's committed crimes, so he's not our politician. So push me forward so we can get a better Australia, or I have to do stuff that ain't going to be too good. Because it doesn't exist at the moment, because the agenda. Because that person hasn't said they saw it, because they didn't get anything out of it. And that's what it is with the agenda. They're the ones with their hands out. Not me. I'm sitting at home chilling. I'm quite happy. Now that I've fixed my pain and got rid of those headaches, I really don't know what to do with my life. That was my life, suffering and pain. And now it's not. My body's still adjusting, like going through a lot of shit. Because I'm used to being full and sick, and now I'm empty and I'm not sick. Like, I had a cold. The first time I've ever had a cold without having chronic headaches, chronic neck pain. Like, my wiring in here would go off like I was being electrocuted. My arms would hurt like I just challenged the strongest man in the world and won at lifting weights. And that's why I can't get up the next day. But that didn't happen. It was just a normal cold. A sniffly nose, a bit of a cough, bit of fatigue. Nothing like I compared to what I had. But all my system is still rebuilding. But anyway, that's it. That's everything done, dusted. There's no need to talk about any more past shit. That's all sorted. Like I said, Shona was never the problem. She was a victim. And because my limbotic and fibronetic and fasciate system was destroyed, every time I got a little bit of stress, I wasn't able to communicate, or I was, give me the water! That's how I'd communicate, because that's all I could do to get it out. But anyway, that's it. Enjoy, and hopefully we get pushed forward. Otherwise, there's going to be problems for YouTube, because they're going to sue for discrimination, sexual discrimination, and censoring someone that's just trying to help others, because the medical support isn't there, because they don't know what they're doing. At the end of the day, the Egyptians were right. They were always right. It was removed because the Romans were jealous, and that's why the world is the way it is, because of Roman jealousy. Okay, enjoy. Peace out. Have fun.